Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am throwing together a little Bunco girls night, and our theme tonight is red carpet, fancy glam. I love this type of theme because normally our Bunco groups, we always like to do like dress up themes, and so I thought it would be fun to do something along the lines of dressing up and just getting fancy, because honestly, as adult women, how often do we really get to dress up and get fancy? For me, never. I don't have a lot of occasions really to dress up much. And so this to me was a fun way to kind of experience, getting fancy for one night and enjoying it with a bunch of girlfriends. So in this clip, I wanted to show you that I bought this like 50 something inch balloon, and these balloons were giving me a fit. It kept falling over, but it was fun, and I eventually got it all figured out, and it ended up working out really well. So I wanted to talk to you all a little bit about, why Bunco with my friend group really matters to me, because it's about connection and, laughing, enjoying time with, a group of 12 girls. And, sometimes I can get caught up in the details of little things, wanting everything to go right. But honestly, when you look back on it, if you had a good time, that's honestly all that matters. And so with Bunco, I'm not sure if y'all know much about it or how to play it, but you have like a little bell, and what I'm doing right now is I'm setting up the head table and kind of maybe giving y'all some inspiration for some Bunco night that you can throw with some of your girlfriends. Our group is a bunch of girls in the surrounding neighborhoods from me, and my daughter and my son, they go to school with a bunch of these women's kids too, and then their sisters, and it's just fun to get together once a month. So I'd encourage you, maybe reach out to a couple people, see if they know a couple people, and maybe throw together a fun little Bunco night for you and a group of your girlfriends. To me, it gives me something to look forward to each month, and because we have like these little dress-up themes, I really enjoy, searching for my outfit or my costume or whatever, and, it's just the little things in life that feel just so special. So this little centerpiece that I wanted to show you is actually I made from the Dollar Tree. Now, I know all the Dollar Trees these days are not really much of a dollar anymore, but I didn't want to spend a ton on decorations because I ended up kind of, throwing away a lot of the things. But each one of those vases were $1.25, I believe, and then the little fairy lights were $1.25. And then they had a couple different like roses, and I just grabbed a couple of those roses and intertwined them together. And I didn't have the lights plugged in just then because I wanted to wait until closer to time, because I didn't know if the battery would hold out, because it is from the Dollar Tree, so there's always that risk. And so I also wanted to show on camera, that was the Bunco paper that you tally up your scores and all the different games and the rounds. And so I found those on Etsy, and they have so many different themes and ideas, and I thought it was a really cute little Bunco red carpet themed one. And then I like to label my tables, because we do 3 tables, and 4 women sit at each table. And so since this is the head table, this is the first table, and then I'll have 2 other ones too. So honestly, kind of tying back to one of the reasons that I joined a Bunco group was, for me and being a stay-at-home mom, I can get really tied down in the feeling of isolation. And I don't know if y'all feel like that a lot, but to me, I've always been such a overachieving perfectionist. I like being around people, but I'm also kind of an introvert at the same time. I like being around people that I feel like give me life and aren't draining. So if there's situations that do feel draining, I kind of can become more of like a hermit, or I've been known to be like a very highly sensitive personality. So for me, being a stay-at-home mom and really only seeing my children on a daily basis, I get really lonely, and it's hard this season, and I know it's just for a season, but for me, finding outlets to express creativity and to host for some close friends, and meet new women and can form new friendships along with that, is just so special to me, and it's such a blessing to me. And so so that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy setting up and hosting. I only host once a month, and then the other women host throughout the rest of the months during the year. But so if you're feeling kind of lonely, or not really, you don't really feel like you have a lot of like people around you, from the day-to-day basis. Like, for instance, I don't have like a corporate job or anything like that. I was an occupational therapist for a while until I decided to stay home with my children. But once they kind of have started to go into school, and I'm left with one child at home, and she's such a great blessing to me. She's such an easy child, but I'm feeling the void of friendship and community a lot more these days. So if you're looking for maybe something like that, maybe try to find a friend or two, and maybe they know some friends who know some friends, and y'all can gather 12 girls up and commit to meeting once a month for a couple hours, and enjoy some fellowship with your girls. So in this clip, I just showed you some gold silverware. It's plastic. Everything was plastic, because it just makes it easier, clean up easier, adds less stress to the host. But I believe I ordered those from Oriental Trading, and they're the cute little ornate utensils. But I also have seen those at the Dollar Tree. They're not as ornate. They don't have that like fancy little handle, but they do have some gold ones. So those might be a little more budget friendly. But I did pick up the red napkins from the Dollar Tree. And I believe that the little Hollywood red carpet plates, the red ones, were from Oriental Trading as well. And I got the black plates from Home Goods. In this scene, I am unfolding the 2 other additional tables for the other women to sit at. And I wanted to note that a funny little story. So during the Bunco game itself, when all the ladies were here and we were having fun, I have a friend, and she started smelling smoke. Well, I had a bunch of different candles, kind of like little tea lights and things like that. And I had a candle at my entryway. I had a candle in the bathroom, and I had some tea lights around the food area. Well, she asks me, she goes, "Hey, Britt, did you turn your heater on?" And I was like, "No." I was like, are you cold? Are you hot? And she's like, "No, I just smell like something burning a little bit." Well, I was like, because I was at the head table, and she was further on back. And so I was like, "I'm not sure about that." I was like, "There is a candle in the entryway, but, I couldn't smell anything really." So as the night went on, probably about 10 minutes later, they were like, "Hey, Britt, I think there might be something on fire." And I was like, "Oh, no." So I got up, and I was like, "Oh, I smell it." And I opened up my bathroom door, and all the smoke filled up my bathroom, and I was just panicking and thinking, "Oh, my goodness, I just burnt the house down." But it turns out I had one of those little fake eucalyptus plants that you buy at like Home Goods, Hobby Lobby, whatever, on like a little tray with a candle. And apparently the candle was too hot, and the little eucalyptus leaves, I guess, fell over the flame, and it caught the little eucalyptus plant itself on fire, and it singed the entire plant. And all that was left was the candle, or the little base ceramic cup that it came in, which was such a blessing that the fire was contained, and by the time I got to it, it was just a tiny little flame at the bottom. So it didn't cause any damage to my house or anything like that. But lesson learned that I will not be lighting candles in places that I can't see, or lighting a candle near a fake plant or anything around that could possibly cause a fire. So I spent all the day after Bunco cleaning up that room. I could still smell like the ashes, like I guess the embers or whatever, on the walls and things like that. And I was, wiping those off and cleaning the towels, washing the towels that were in the bathroom. And we ran the whole, for 2 nights in a row, we ran our air doctor, which if you don't have an air doctor, I highly recommend you get it. It's very sensitive to the particulates in the air. And we actually have 2 air doctors and a few blue air purifiers in each of our kids' rooms. And that is the way to go. I mean, the respiratory stuff, I feel like I feel like I'm preaching on respiratory stuff all the time, but I do feel like that is a priority in my house, is having clean air. So that was that little blue thing that I just showed you, that tape, that was some double-sided tape. And I did not realize, when you decide to host things, sometimes they just don't go as well as you think they do. And when I bought these tablecloths from Amazon, when they came in, I put them on the table. I didn't realize how short they were to cover the tables, and so I didn't want the tablecloth slipping and sliding all over the place. So I put in some double-sided tape to, hold it in place so it wouldn't be crazy throughout the night. So yeah, that was the story of the night of Bunco, sort of chaos. But I mean, I do feel like in each thing that we do, we can learn lessons, and it helps us to grow, and it helps us to, we take those lessons with us into the new seasons and the new chapters of our lives. So if you're hosting, I recommend maybe lighting 1 candle in a place that you can see it, and that would be probably the best thing that you can do, and probably the safest. I also wanted to kind of let y'all in on some of the fun little things that we did during our Bunco night. When all my guests got there, I thought it would be fun to play a trivia game. So what I did ahead of time is I made a playlist of 10 or 11 different songs that were popular from certain movies. For instance, I played My Heart Will Go On from Celine Dion, and then I had each group at their table write down what movie that was on. And we did a bunch of different ones. Like I played Iris from the Goo Goo Dolls, and they would write down City of Angels, and Perfect Day, from Legally Blonde. And I thought that was just a fun little added, thing that I felt like they would really enjoy, especially the movie buffs in the group. And I think that they really enjoyed it, and I think that they had a lot of fun. I didn't do any prizes, necessarily for that, because I didn't want to have winners and losers, because I just, I feel like we're all winners. We're all made an effort to get there, get dressed, have fun. So I didn't do any prizes for that. We do have prizes for the winners of the Bunco, which we do little prizes at the end for that. But for my little trivia game, I didn't do any prizes necessarily for that. But I did do little gifts for each girls, and I'm so mad that I didn't take a picture of it to show y'all. But I bought these paper popcorn boxes. I believe I bought them from Amazon. And with the paper boxes, I opened them up, and then I put in yellow tissue paper to pretend to be the popcorn part of it. And then I went to Sam's, and I bought a 35 pack of full-size candy bars, and I stacked them with about 3 candy bars per popcorn thing. And then I also bought the Orville Redenbacher's mini popcorn bags, I believe is what they were. So they're kind of smallish, and they could fit in there. And I added one of those to each of the girls' little popcorn, to-go boxes type things. And it was really cute, and I think that they really enjoyed it. And everyone left a winner, and that's all that matters. In this clip, I wanted to show y'all about these from Amazon. They're cupcake holders, and the cupcakes that I bought were from Sam's. And I thought I got the idea from Pinterest, and it was to get like some yellow cupcakes and to put the yellow cupcakes in like a little popcorn holder like you see there. And then I bought some like popcorn, I think I bought that from Home Goods because they always have those like little popcorn things. And I think that was butter toffee flavor. And I just put the little cupcake in there, and then I added some little popcorn things on the top, and I just thought that they turned out so incredibly cute. I was so proud of it. It was fun to make. I love to be creative, and I felt like, it kind of gave me like a little creative outlet to do something like that. And the little clear 4-tier cake stand that I bought was from Amazon as well, and I don't have it lit up right here, but it does light up like the little red. It can light up different colors, red and blue. It can flash. It's really cool. So here I am. I just bought these like little satin runners. They were not expensive at all because I'm not trying to spend a ton of money, but I feel like little things like that just can make a big difference. And I bought these little twinkle lights. I believe those are from Amazon too. And they're like little stars, and they, just plug into the wall, and I feel like they just add such cute detail. And this is where I end up putting all the food, and I feel like it turned out really good. I actually had the food catered from Olive Garden to lessen the stress and the burden on me. And actually that was a great idea to do Olive Garden, because you get what I chose was a tin of lasagna that feeds 12, along with I think it was 12 dozen breadsticks, and then I added, I believe, six more. So I believe I had 18 breadsticks total. And then you get a full-size salad, and it comes with a bottle of dressing and the Parmesan cheese, all the fixings, everything. And I believe in my area it was $85 plus tax and then tip. So I think it ended up being $106 altogether, which I believe is a really great deal considering I had 12 girls and I didn't want to have to do any cooking. So it really, that was the way to go with that. I also wanted to show you some of these cute little decor pieces that I bought, and I bought this whole package from Hobby Lobby, and they were, I think it was only like $2 for an entire pack of these fun little movie little, I don't know, paper decorations type things. But I feel like I love when I find a fun little, there's the ending, little final of that, but I love when I get to find these fun little things, and they're not expensive, but they just make such a big deal. When it comes to decorating, they make such a big impact, and I feel like that's just a win, in my book. And I feel like the popcorn one definitely had to be in the popcorn area for sure. So I kind of wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about offense. And offense is something that I have struggled with for a long time. And me being a very sensitive person, I feel like I have for a long time put my value and my worth into what others' opinions are of me and whether or not they show up for me. And if there are times that things happen and they can't show up for me, I have had many opportunities, I should say, to be hurt and to be offended and take things personally. But honestly, reading the book, The Bait of Satan by John Bevere, that was the very first book that I ever read or picked up on offense, and how Jesus says that every one of us will be offended at some point in our lives, that basically we can't escape it, but what we do with it matters. There's another book that I wanted to share with y'all, and it's called Consider the Lilies. by Johnny Artavanis, I believe is how you say his last name. And a really good thing that I felt in that book, the book was about anxiety and trying to control situations that are just out of your control. But a really good thing that I took from that book was that, God has seen it all. He's seen it from beginning to end, and nothing surprises him. He's seen everything. Things in life can surprise us, but it doesn't surprise him. That his ways are better, and that even though I may be dealing with disappointment, God can get me through it, and God can still show me that if I learn to turn over my heart to him, he can make things right, and he will make things right. He always has, he always does, and he always will. So trusting him when I have opportunities to feel really hurt has been a really big theme in my life lately, and I feel like I'm still working on it. I'm still a work in progress, but I'm trying harder, and I don't know if any of you out there, can relate or feel the same way, but for me, I've always been like a people-pleasing, perfectionist who I just want everyone to like me and I want everyone to come to my parties, but that's not always the case. And so, working on that has been just I feel like a really good thing that God has shown me, that he's wanted me to work through and depend on him. But all in all, I think it turned out great. I bought the little rope things. I believe those were from Shein. And then this little lighted sign on the front door was cute. So I hope that this inspired you to get together, have a fun game night, and I hope you all have a very blessed day, and do not forget to subscribe.